The laugh wasn't meant for him. It rang through Moonfall Hall, soft, real, reckless, and Alpha King Kale felt it like a blade sliding between his ribs. He had stood unshaken on battlefields soaked in blood. He had sentenced traitors without blinking, yet that single sound stole the breath from his lungs. She was standing beneath the chandeliers, head tilted back, eyes shining as another man leaned close, whispering nonsense just to see her smile again. Her smile, unclaimed, unaware, dangerous. Kale's wolf surged, ancient and furious. Mine. The word thundered through his veins, though he had never touched her, never spoken her name aloud. He had sworn to keep his distance human. Born women had no place in an Alpha King's war-worn world. Loving her would be a weakness. Claiming her would paint a target on her heart. But watching another man make her laugh, that shattered every oath. The hall blurred as Kale moved, power rolling off him in crushing waves. Conversations died. Wolves bowed. She turned too late. One heartbeat, she was smiling. The next, the Alpha King's hand cupped her face. His lips crashed into hers, and fate ignited. In that stolen kiss, laughter turned to fire, choice turned to destiny, and the realm would never be the same again. The laugh that broke the Alpha, the music inside the Moonfall Hall, rose like a heartbeat, slow, deep, dangerous. Silver chandeliers caught the torchlight, scattering it across carved stone walls, etched with the history of Alphas long dead. Tonight was a celebration of peace between packs, but beneath the silk gowns and tailored coats, tension prowled like a restless wolf. Alpha King Kale Nightborn stood on the balcony, crown of obsidian resting heavy against his dark hair. His presence alone bent the air. Wolves lowered their gazes when he passed. None dared laugh too loudly near him. None except her Kale's golden eyes found the sound before he found the face. A laugh, soft, unguarded, alive. Down on the marble floor, Illyra Vale tilted her head back as another man leaned close, whispering something foolish. Illyra's smile bloomed without permission, bright as dawn. She wasn't trying to charm. She wasn't performing. She was simply happy. Kale's jaw tightened. The man beside her, Bader Ronan Ashwick, reached out, fingers brushing Illyra's wrist. Not possessive, familiar, Kale felt it like claws across his chest. His wolf surged, ancient and territorial, roaring a truth Kale had denied since the moment he'd first scented her weeks ago. Mate Illyra felt the shift before she saw him. The hall seemed to hush as Alpha King Kale descended the stairs. Each step was deliberate, thunder wrapped in silk, conversations died, wolves bowed their heads, Kale stopped before them. His gaze never left Illyra. Enjoying yourself? His voice was velvet and command. Ronan stiffened. Illyra swallowed, heat climbing her neck. I was, she said honestly. Something wild flashed in Kale's eyes. Before anyone could breathe, before Illyra could think. Kale cupped her face and claimed her mouth in one devastating kiss. The bond ignited, the hall erupted, and Illyra's world shattered into fire, and fate the kiss that changed everything the moment Kale's lips left hers. The world came crashing back in. Gasps tore through Moonfall Hall. Whispers exploded like sparks on dry leaves. Illyra stumbled, breathless, her knees weak as if the floor itself had tilted. Her lips still burned, her skin humming with a strange, terrifying warmth that settled deep in her chest. The bond, she felt it now, an invisible thread pulling tight around her soul. Kale stepped back, but only by inches. His eyes had shifted fully gold, his control hanging by a thread. The Alpha King had claimed her in front of every pack leader, every noble, every enemy watching for weakness. Ronan moved first. Have you lost your mind? He snapped, stepping in front of Illyra. She didn't consent to. Kale's growl rolled through the hall, low and lethal. Stone beneath his boots cracked. She is mine. Kale said, each word final. The moon has spoken. Illyra found her voice, shaking but fierce. You don't get to decide that for me. That stopped him. For the first time, the Alpha King hesitated. Kale studied her, really looked, not as a destined mate, not as a prize, but as a woman standing her ground while the most powerful wolf in the realm towered over her. I felt you laugh, Kale said quietly, and my world shifted. Illyra's heart pounded. Then you should have walked away. He leaned closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. I tried. The bond pulsed again, stronger this time. Images flashed in Alira's mind, forests under moonlight, blood and crowns, Kale kneeling before her, broken and unarmed. She gasped, clutching her chest. Kale caught her instantly, one arm around her waist. The hall blurred as wolves shouted, elders arguing, alliances fraying in real time. The bond is unstable. An elder cried, she's untrained, human, born. Kale's grip tightened protectively. Then I'll train her. Alira met his gaze, anger and confusion colliding with a pull she couldn't deny. You kissed me to stop yourself from losing me to another man, she said bitterly. That's not fate, that's fear. Kale didn't deny it. I will give you a choice, he said, voice raw. Stay with me for 7 nights. If you still wish to walk away, I will let you go. 7 nights with the Alpha King. Alira's pulse thundered. Fine, she said, but I am not yours. Kale smiled then. Slow, dangerous, undone. Not yet. 7 nights under one moon, the Alpha King's territory lay beyond the Black Pine Ridge, where the forest grew ancient and the air tasted of power. Alira watched the iron gates close behind them, the sound echoing like a final decision. 7 nights? That was all she had agreed to. 7 nights to prove the bond meant nothing or everything. Kale's fortress rose from the mountain like a living beast. Stone towers wrapped in silver runes, balconies carved for moon, watching, corridors humming softly with magic older than any crown. You'll have the east wing, Kale said as they walked side by side. He kept his distance as if proximity alone might snap his restraint. No guards inside your rooms, you are not a prisoner. Alira arched a brow. How generous of the man who claimed me in front of the entire realm. His mouth twitched. I deserve that. That night, the bond refused to sleep. Alira lay awake as moonlight spilled across her bed, heat coiling low in her stomach, her thoughts drifting where they had no right to go. Kale's hands, Kale's mouth, Kale's eyes when he looked at her like she was both salvation and sin. Across the fortress, Kale stood on his balcony, fists braced against stone. She laughed for another man. The memory still tore at him, sharp and humiliating, not because he feared Ronan, but because Alira's happiness hadn't been meant for Kale at all. On the second night, Kale took her riding. They raced through the forest on powerful black wolves, the wind tearing laughter from Alira's chest before she could stop it. She threw her head back, free, wild in, where Kale watched her with hunger so deep it hurt. At the river, she slipped while dismounting. Kale caught her, hands firm on her waist. For one heartbeat, neither moved. I don't belong to your world, Alira whispered. Kale leaned his forehead to hers. Then my world will change. The bond flared violently. That night, danger came with it. A blade, sliced through the dark assassin steel, aimed straight for Alira's heart. Kale shifted midair, wolf exploding from flesh in a snarl of fury. He tore the attacker apart before Alira could scream. When it was over, Kale stood before her, bloodied, shaking. Not from battle, but from fear. They will keep coming, he said hoarsely, because you matter. Alira stepped forward, hands trembling as she touched his cheek. You were willing to die for me? Kale closed his eyes. I already have. Above them, the moon burned bright and unforgiving. 3 nights remained, and Alira was no longer sure she wanted to leave. When desire becomes a choice by the 4th night, the fortress no longer felt like a cage. Alira walked its corridors with confidence now, her senses sharpened, her heartbeat oddly attuned to another's. She could feel Kale even when he wasn't near, like a distant flame calling to her through stone and shadow. The elders noticed. She is changing. They whispered from behind silver masks. The bond is awakening her. Alira heard them and didn't care. That evening, Kale brought her to the moon chamber, a circular hall open to the sky, runes glowing softly beneath their feet. The full moon hovered directly above, enormous and watching. This place amplifies truth, Kale said. No lies survive here. Alira folded her arms. Then tell me the truth. If I hadn't laughed with Ronan, would you still have kissed me? Kale didn't hesitate. Yes, her breath caught. I fought it. He continued, voice rough. For weeks, you're human. Born unprotected, loving you makes you a target. I wanted you safe, even if it was far from me. Then why claim me like that? she demanded. Because seeing you almost choose someone else broke something in me, Kale said quietly. Not ownership, fear that I would lose the only thing that ever felt like home. Silence stretched between them, heavy and electric. Elara stepped closer, her voice soft. You didn't ask. Kale sank to one knee, the Alpha King, ruler of 100 packs, bowed his head. Then let me ask now, he said, not as your alpha, not as your mate, as a man. Choose me or walk away, I will accept either. Her heart pounded so hard it hurt. Elara lifted his chin, forcing him to meet her eyes. If I choose you, it won't be because of fate. Kale swallowed. I want nothing less, she leaned in. Not rushed, not claimed. This kiss was different, slow, intentional. Chosen, the bond surged, warm and steady, no longer a chain but a promise. But outside the moon chamber, shadows gathered. An elder watched from the dark, eyes cold. The alpha grows weak, he murmured, and the human-born girl will pay for it. As Elara rested her forehead against Kale's, unaware of the danger closing in, the moon flared crimson. The final nights would demand blood.